We're all in a go status.
T-minus 30 seconds.
The morning mayhem.
TPA script running. Second stage LH2 securing started.
Ready for launch?
Ready to embark on a national security mission for the United States of America.
News Talk 92.
Range green.
Igniters armed. Rofi ignition.
KBU.
4, 3, and liftoff.
Standing by to go to the partial thrust.
The morning mayhem is on.
Partial thrust mode now in the port booster as expected.
The morning mayhem is pre-recorded and for entertainment purposes only.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
And let's jam here on this here Wednesday morning, everybody. It's the day after primary, and man, have we got some results for you here, and we'll get into those here in just a little bit. Other things going on here as well. 5 days left in Facebook jail. Counting it down, 5 days of singing the blues and 5 nights of torture. And like our podcasts, you can typically get our podcast from the Facebook page, but since I'm in Facebook jail, I can't post on Facebook, so look for them in other places where you find your favorite podcasts. We got the Arkansas primary election results. Senator Bozeman avoids a runoff. Other Arkansas congressional incumbents win. Power outage affecting polling locations and election headquarters in Arkansas. And we'll meet the candidates that are running next for governor. All that and more. News Talk 92 KBAU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. Good morning to everybody here on this Wednesday morning. It is definitely a crazy craze out there. I don't know if anybody suffered any damage or anything from those thunderstorms that blew through yesterday, but it looks like a couple trees out there got topped off for sure. And other than that, though, didn't see much damage other than got a good scare out of it, though. So hopefully everybody's okay with that. And then, of course, it rained again later in the night after the polls closed and everything. But we were hanging out there at the courthouse and waiting for all the results to come in. And here in Ouachita County, looks like people really turned out for this election. What we've got here is we've got everybody checking in from absentees to the courthouse to all the locations here in Ouachita County where the poll places were open, like the Beard and Lions Club, Calvary Baptist Church, Chidester City Hall, Elliott Baptist Church, Thrive Church over there at the Ross Center, Stevens, and the courthouse, like I said. So ballots cast total overall, Beard and Lions Club was reporting in 168. Total cast ballots. Calvary Baptist Church reported 271. Chidester City Hall reported 123. Elliott Baptist Church reported 173. Thrive Church reported 687 ballots casted. Stevens reported 122. And absentee was 62. And of course, the courthouse recorded 1,064 ballots casted total. So now we know what we're dealing with here. So when we break it down, who did what is what we really need to come down to. Well, out at Bearden, 97 casted their vote for the Republican ticket. 240 over at Calvary casted theirs for Republican. Chidester City Hall, 82 for Republican. Elliott Baptist Church, 145 for Republican. Thrive Church for 430 for Republican, 52 Republican. And Stevens absentee were 33 and 628 casted theirs for Republican at the courthouse. Then those doing Democrat, 66 over in Bearden, 30 for Calvary, 41 with Chidester, 28 at Elliott Baptist Church. Thrive counted 254 Democrat ballots casted. Stevens recorded 69, absentee 28, and the courthouse recorded 425. Then when it came to nonpartisan, people were really choosing sides. So the nonpartisan, Bearden picked up 5, Calvary Baptist Church did 1, Chichester did 0, Elliott Baptist Church did 0, Thrive Church got 3, Stevens got 1, absentee was 1, and 11 at the courthouse. So when it all comes down to it, what was the turnout overall? Well, I can tell you this right here, right now. Voter turnout for Republican was 22.25% over in Bearden. And then it was 55.5% at Calvary, 18.81% for Chichester. Elliott recorded 33.26% for Republican turnout, 98.62% over at Thrive Church for Republican turnout. And actually, let's put this kind of in comparison here. Let's see. Let's compare the two here. Let's go back to Bearden. So for the Republican turnout, Bearden was recorded 22.25%. And then for Democrat, it was 8.46%. There, doesn't that make it a little easier to understand? Okay, because I was just going straight down the list, and I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. It's not going to help us, kind of do a comparison here when we go back to the Democrats. So we'll start over. So Bearden Lions Club got 22.25% for Republican turnout, 8.46% for Democrat turnout. Then Calvary Baptist Church picked up 55.05% for Republican turnout, 3.85% for Democrat turnout. Then Chichester City Hall had 18.81% Republican turnout, and then 5.26% for Democrat. Elliott Baptist Church picked up 33.26% for Republican turnout, 3.59% for Democrat turnout. Thrive Church, over there at the Ross Center, they show 98.62% turnout for Republican, and that pretty much shadowed the 32.56% for Democrat turnout. Stevens recorded 11.93% turnout, but that was pretty close, though, with the Democrat turnout being 8.85% as well. Absentee was 7.57% for Republican, 3.59% for Democrat. And when it came to the courthouse, 144.04% showed up for Republican and 54.49% turned out for Democrat. Yeah, I know that's kind of a high number there for, this is the unofficial results that I've got. So those were the statistics from that. We'll figure all that stuff out later. So when it comes down to who done did what, well, let's see here. In the Ouachitas, what you voted for, so representative for U.S. Senate, you can only vote for one, and this was for the Republican. So let's see, you got was that for the Republican or for, wait a minute, hang on, was that for the one or Attorney General, Governor? Okay, this has got to be Republican because I don't see. Yeah, I don't see. Hang on. Let me get caught up here because I don't see Jones on that list, and I don't see the Democrats on that other one either. So hang on. I think Democrat. Okay, all right. Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure before I had said anything. So, okay, all right. I just had to make sure. Oh, by the way, for local stuff, it was pretty much either uncontested or independent. So JPs were uncontested, so I guess JPs are staying where they're at. All right, so when it comes for Representative Republican U.S. Senate, let's see, you've got Bozeman on there. Bozeman totaled, with everybody counted for, 1,092 here in Ouachita County. Then Loftus counted 19 for Ouachita County, and Beckett counted 305, and Jan Morgan counted 275. So, of course, hang on, I'll get it out. John Bozeman takes it up there for 1,092. When it came to Republican Attorney General, you got Tim Griffin in there running against Leon Jones Jr., and Tim Griffin picked up 1,512 here in Ouachita County, and that puts Jones there at 144. So when you're looking at your governor for the Republican side, that thing got narrowed down real quick. I noticed on the state side, though, Doc Washburn jumped out in the lead, and I was like, oh boy, that's going to turn real quick, and sure enough, it did. unfortunately. Yeah, I wanted Doc Washburn to win, and I voted for him, and I voted for him. So, I mean, there's that, but I knew what the outcome was going to be. It's going to be between Sanders and Jones is what it's going to come down to. And sure enough, it did. So anyhow, Sanders picked up 1,470. This is for Ouachita County, by the way. And Washburn got 218. Then we're looking at the Republican side for Lieutenant Governor. Let's see. Here in Ouachita County, Webb picked up 107. Cat got 102. Rappert, however you say it, 171. Bledsoe, 162. And Leslie Rutledge picked up 1,037, putting Wood at 81. And then your Republican side for Secretary of State, well, that would be either John Thurston or Eddie Joe Williams. And Thurston picks up at 1,314 and Williams 280. Then your Republican for State Treasurer, you got Mark Lowry, the seasoning salt guy, and then you got Pish. That's it. Fish. Is it Pish or Fish? That guy. He got 283. He didn't come in very well. But seasoning guy Mark Lowry, he came in 1,312. He did pretty good. And then your Republican State Senate District 2, you had on there Beth Calloway, James McManus, and Matt Stone. And it looks like Trent Garner did what he set out to do, at least here for these here parts, because, let's see, that put Beth Calloway at 310, James McManus there at 140, and that put Matt Stone at 1,204. So for a guy who's never been heard of, except for around these here certain parts, he definitely got a lot of name recognition thanks to, Trent Garner. Unopposed Republican Party candidates. Let's see. What was this? Unopposed Republican Party candidates. It doesn't say who, but yeah. 1,485 total. So then, hang on. Dang it. I'm messing up my sheets here. Hang on. I'm messing them up because I need to keep them in order. All right. Where are we at on time? Okay, we got about a minute and a half. Oh, we got a minute and a half. All right. So let's not get into the Democrat side here just yet because I don't want to cut off right in the middle there. But we've got those as well. These are the printouts from the tally yesterday when they brought in all the little USB flash drives with the tallies on them and everything, and turn those in. Real quick here, we'll take a look here across the state when it comes to, dang, boy, that thing just shot up again. It looks like Sarah Huckabee Sanders is definitely taking the lead for the Republican primary on the overall statewide. That's 254,000 votes, 998, 83% of the precincts are reporting in. Let's see, Doc Washburn got 52,337 statewide, 17% of those precincts are counting in. And so let's see. So when it comes to the Democrat side there, of course, Jones takes the lead, 61,266, 70.6% of the precincts counting in. And no, I'm sorry. What am I doing here? Hang on. I'm telling you the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Hang on. 90% reported in for the Republican primary for governor. So Sanders is at 83, Doc Washburn at 17. So that's 254,998 for Sanders, 52,357 for Washburn. 83% reporting in of the precincts. So that puts Chris Jones there at the top at 70.6%, 61,266. Anthony Bland at 9.5, Jay Martin at 8.1. And let's see, that puts James Russell there at 6.7 and Sufa there at 5.1. So that's where that puts that there. All right, I'm over. I got to take this break. We'll pick up where we left off there on the Democrat side right here on News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. Going over the results from last night. Everybody's turning, so far everybody's turned in their stuff. We're going over Ouachita County here at the moment. what the results are here from our county. Just before the break, we went through the Republican side of everything. So if you missed any of that, you can always go back and hit the podcast there and get that on demand. And of course, you can find that podcast anywhere from Spreaker. That's like speaker, but with an R, Spreaker.com. You can find that on iHeart, iTunes, let's see, Google Podcast. I'm trying to remember the list of everybody that we have on there. iTunes, iHeart, podcast. Oh, Amazon. That's the one I'm thinking of. Spotify. How can I forget Spotify? Yeah. Just check your favorite podcast platform out there. Do a search for Doc Bryce Morning Mayhem, and you'll find that along with your other favorite podcasts like Remember When with Uncle John and Trivia Tracks with Bryce Robertson. All right. So we were doing the Republican side of everything there just before we hit the break, and I want to get into the Democrat side of it. So here's what we got going on there for that there. So when it comes to the U.S. Senate for the Democrat side, we've got Jack Foster in there. He got 226. Natalie James, 444, and Dan Whitfield there with 200. So that means that Natalie James there takes the lead for Ouachita County, everybody. Okay, so there you go. You can clap. It's okay. Yeah, there you go. Don't be shy. You can applaud. So when it comes for governor on the Democrat side here in Ouachita County, remember, these are the numbers we're talking about here for the county that you voted for here in the county. So that leaves us with Jay Martin there. Jay Martin got 88. Anthony Tony Bland got 95. James Russell, 47. Sufa Mays picking up with 56. But here comes Chris Jones cleaning everybody out there with 611 for the county. Then we have your Secretary of State for the Democrat side. We got Josh Price there with 317, and Annabeth Gorman picks it up for 509 here in Ouachita County. There you go. See? Yeah. And then Democrat unopposed, Democrat candidates there, 767 were pretty much unopposed there. I don't even know why we're putting that in there. All right. So for nonpartisan stuff. So State Supreme Court Associate Justice, Precinct 2. You have in there, let's see, Chris, who is that? Chris, Carnahan. He gets, 546. David Sterling, 584. But Robin Wayne takes it there for 1,344, everybody. Then State Supreme Court Associate Justice, was that Justice of the Peace for 6? Gunnar DeLay got 760, and Karen Baker, cleaning it up there for 1,696. There you go. Is that Justice? Was that just P6? Precinct 6? 34.0 Mills, Camden Fairview School. What did that one go for? Well, again, it was 653, but for was 1,218. Y'all done want that. But 41.0 mil smackover school tax. Again, they were 44, and for it were 22. So the Guinness got it there with the majority of the vote. Yeah, there you go. That's how you stick it to the man. So when it comes to your U.S. Senate here for, hang on, I got to stop laughing. Oh, wait a minute. We already did that. Oh, yeah, because we were, okay. Yeah. All right. Hang on. That was the other sheet there. Yeah, I've got like 3 different times that we printed that thing out. So yeah, so we went there. Yeah. So Bozeman takes the lead on that one there. All right. So we've covered everything for Ouachita County. So everybody should be on board and feeling good about this right now. And now we need to go over to the state and see what we got here. From what Brett's telling me, he doesn't believe that there's going to be any runoffs needed here for Ouachita County. If we do need any runoffs, those runoffs will be June 21st, I believe, is when those will be. So if we do see any runoffs in the state, that's the date that's going to be, that'll be done. But Brett says that he doesn't see anything here for Ouachita County. But if we need one though, however, if we do need a runoff, basically it'll be June 21st. Let's put it that way. Let's get back over here where I can see where our state stuff is. All right. So just before the break, we were talking about when it comes to primary for Republican governor, Sanders is going to take the lead there. She is going to be your official GOP candidate for governor of Arkansas. And then on the Democrat side, that puts Chris Jones there in the lead for the Democrat side. So now he is going to be your Democrat governor candidate running for office there. So Sanders and Jones will be facing that off in November. Then, let's see, who else we got here running around over here. So let's see. Wow, no way. Oh, can I see that back? Oh, that was so cool. Oh, they bumped me out. Hang on. Can I have it back? Because you can't do this to me during a live show. This is going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're back. Okay. I clicked a button and it was like, wiped out the screen and everything. I'm like, oh no, now is not the time to be doing this kind of shenanigans here because, we're like right in the middle of a show and we got to have this stuff. All right, so that's what we got for your governor race. It's going to be Sanders up against Jones, Jones up against Sanders, Jones being your Democrat and Sanders being your Republican. So now all you got to do is figure out who you want to vote for there come November. All right, I have got to take a break. On the other side of that, we'll get into your other results from this election right here in News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. Out the bottom of the six here as we encroach the top of the hour, going over the results from last night here on your primary. Now remember, your primary election basically is just to narrow down the playing field. This is where everybody comes in and says, hey, I want to run for that position. And you got like 5 people. And you can't have 5 people run for that office and then say, best out of 5. You can't do that. So the primary basically narrows it down to one person for each party. And then that party runs against somebody else in another different party. So that's how it does it. And that's how we run it. And then we figure out who becomes the lucky person who gets to be ridiculed by me for running in that office. Ha ha. So anyhow, we've talked about it already where it looks like Sanders beat out Doc Washburn. 91% now reporting of the polls out there, and that puts Sanders there at 83%, Doc Washburn 17%, where Sanders gets 255,919 votes, Doc Washburn 52,388. Doc Washburn ran a good race. Then for the Democrat side, when it comes to governor, Chris Jones taking the lead there, 83% reporting on the polls there, 70.6% is what Chris Jones is taking. So that gives him 61,434 votes. Anthony Bland there at 9.5, Jay Martin 8.1, and then that puts James Ross Russell at 6.7 and Sufa Mays at 5.1. So then that comes down to our Senate race. Where does that put everybody at? Well, 91% of the polls reporting here on the Republican primary side, and our candidates here are Loftus, Morgan, Beckett, and Bozeman. And it looks like Bozeman there takes the lead at 58.2% with 179,412, and Beckett there at 64,719 with 21%. Jan Morgan 57,257, 18.6%, and Heath Loftus there at 2.3 with only 7,100. So for a popularity contest there, looks like Bozeman wins on that one. And Morgan there coming in. Yeah, I voted for her. On the Democrat primary side, 81% of the polls reporting there. Natalie James takes it there in the lead, 54.1%. So that puts her at 45,805. Dan Whitfield there, 30.7%. Puts him 26,022. Jack Foster, 15.2 with 12,864. Now, when it comes to the U.S. House, District 1 on the Democrat side, Hodges there takes it uncontested. Let's see. On the Republican side, Crawford, who is the incumbent, 76%. Smith at 14%. And then let's see, District 2 on the Democrat side, Hathaway there, takes it uncontested. And then, let's see, District 2 on the Republican side, Hill takes it there 59%, Reynolds 41%. District 3 on the Democrat side, Hayes there takes it uncontested. And for District 3 on the Republican side, Womack, the incumbent there for 79%, and Kumar at 21%. District 4 on the Democrat side, White there uncontested, and Westerman also uncontested for District 4 on the Republican side. So for your state legislatures, your state senate, your representative in District 1, Gilmore, as the incumbent uncontested, and number 2 for the Democrat, Smith uncontested, as also the incumbent too, because he's uncontested. And then you got Matt Stone in there for District 2 on the Republican side at 66%, Callaway at 23%, and that puts Beckham there, the incumbent, 51% for District 3 on the Republican side, and Crowell at 49%. Hickey, uncontested, and that's Republican District 4. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So for your state house, that puts District 1 for Democrats. Roof there, uncontested. Let's see. For the Republican side, that puts Woolridge 73%, Dixon 27%. District 2, Davis there at 42%. And Stymel at 32%. So District 3, Republican, Painter at 72%, Bryant 28%, and District 4, Republican, Fortner, he's the incumbent, and that puts Emerson there wow, Emerson, okay. Because nobody's reporting in yet. All right, I was about to say that didn't make any sense there. They're showing at this moment not reporting everybody. Okay, all right, no, that's cool. Looks like I left some people out there too. You know what? We're not going to go through all that. We'll just go through top 10. How about that? Because, man, there's a lot of names out there. By the way, now I can't think of his name. He's a representative, and he's up there in Jonesboro, and I'm trying to get his name to click in my head, and it's just not. He was the one. Galloway. That's it. Galloway. That's the one I'm looking for. What did Galloway do? And the only reason why I say that is because, well, maybe not. It's not popping on there. Nope. That's not. Wow. That's not popping on there at all. Okay. Well, I was thinking that he would, Gazaway. That's what I was trying to think of. Gazaway, not Galloway. Gazaway. Gazaway is the incumbent and uncontested. There we go. He's the one that pushed for 50-50 parenting and everything for child support and all that, and trying to change up the rules where default the custody goes straight to the mom. So it's just, straight up, not, dang it, the opposite of joint. The full custody. Golly. I'm sitting there trying to think, what's the opposite of a joint? Full custody. So instead of full custody just going straight to the mother right away, it should default to joint custody unless there is some reason why there should not be joint custody allowed. Other than that, it should default to joint instead of full custody to the mother, which is how it's always been. That's why I was looking for him there. So he's in for another round. And when it comes to dealing with family law and things like that, I definitely like what he's doing. And even though I can't vote for him, he's out of my jurisdiction. I can't do anything for him, but I'm hoping that together we can work on the bigger picture there for everybody that's involved here in Arkansas when it comes to dealing with family law. So let's see. So that pretty much takes care of all that stuff there. Now, when it comes to the other races here real quick, if we could get to these. Let me get to these here real quick. And then we can put some closure on these for this hour. You've got your lieutenant governor. And for that, you've got your Democrat there, Kraut. And let's see. Then you've got Rutledge. And on the Democrat side, it's pretty much just Kraut. Just him running uncontested. But on the Republican side, you got Rapport and Rutledge. Rutledge taking 54%, Rapport there 14%. And then for Attorney General, which, Rutledge has given up that position to go over to LG. She's given up the AG for the LG. And that puts Griffin in there, who's currently the LG, wants to be the AG. And let's see, Griffin is running up against Jones on the Republican side, and that puts Griffin at 86%, Jones at 14%. Gibson is uncontested on the Democrat side, so of course now he got that. So the face-off is going to be between Griffin and Gibson. And same thing with your lieutenant governor there. That's going to be between Rutledge and Kraut. And it's your attorney general, Griffin and Gibson. Your auditor, Milligan there for the Republican, uncontested. Democrat, Arnold Johnson, uncontested. And it's going to be between those two to see who gets to be the auditor. Land commissioner, both are uncontested and on the Democrat and Republican side. Land being the incumbent, Gaines wanting to be the new land commissioner there, so that's who will be facing off in November. Then you got the Secretary of State. Thurston is your incumbent right now, and he had Williams running against him on the Republican side. He beat that out, 28%. Williams takes, and Thurston gets to 72% for the majority. On the Democrat side, Gorman there going up against Price. Gorman taking 59%, leaving Price with 41. And then when it comes to Supreme Court, I think we already announced this one here. Wood was the incumbent. I'm sorry, hang on, I'm doing this wrong. For position 2, Wynn is the incumbent, running against Carnahan. Wynn taking 50%, Carnahan 29%. Position 6 was Baker, the incumbent, at 64%, DeLay at 36%, and Wood remain uncontested for position 7 and remains as is. The treasurer, your treasurer, Whittaker there is uncontested for the Democrat side. Lowry, 74%. Up against Pish at 26%. So Lowry's going to be facing Whittaker there in November. So there's everybody. There's all your candidates and stuff that you need to know right there. Well, if Stormy hasn't done it already, because I sent everything to her, because I'm in Facebook jail, so I can't post anything up there. I would have done it last night while I was at the courthouse. That was the whole reason for going to the courthouse, was so that way I could do Facebook Live. But it was pretty low key though last night. We really didn't do much. Other than just kind of hung around and enjoyed each other's company, and then waited for the polls to come in and get the announcement of who did what. And then that was pretty much it. And then once that was done, came to the station, tallied everything together, and put everything together for the morning show. So that's where we're at on that. So it was kind of low key. Other than that, though, typically what we would do, like we've done with the general elections, is broadcast live from there. But since there really wasn't much going on for local stuff, everything was state anyways. So there wasn't really anything going on for local other than there was some local stuff, but it was all uncontested. So there really wasn't much to talk about. Nothing's greatly changed. So that's going to remain the same. So other than that, though, that's all we really got big to talk about there is the big stuff. So real quick here, let's see if we can get this in before we got to take that break there, because we got just a few more minutes, and we could probably do this real quick here. Now, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and meet the candidates. Yes, let's see who's going to be running in November. Well, I can tell you this, it's not going to be Anthony Tony Bland, because he's out. And it's not going to be Ricky Dale Harrington, who's a libertarian. He's out. I would have voted for him. He's a libertarian. And Chris Jones, who's a Democrat. Yes, Chris Jones will be, staying in. Yep. So that is your candidate running for governor on the Democrat side. And he said his focus while running for governor is on the PB&J preschool board and jobs. Jones, a Pine Bluff native, is also a nuclear engineer and ordained minister. He said not only are Arkansans ready for a change, but they're ready for a new style of leadership. He says we're hyper-focused on spreading PB&J across the state, which means preschool, broadband, and jobs. And says when he looks to the educational space, Arkansas is ranked bottom in education far too often, and that's because we just don't pay teachers enough. If we pay teachers enough, then we would have better education and stuff. So along the campaign trail, Jones, who earned his PhD in urban planning, said one of the top complaints he's hearing from voters related to is infrastructure issues. Then you've got Jay Martin. He's out because he was the Democrat that was running up against Jones. James Russell, he's out. So that leaves us now with the Republican side and who all's running over there. We know that Doc Washburn was running against Sarah Sanders, so Washburn is out. So that leaves us with Sarah Sanders, who's going to be our GOP candidate running for governor. Now, if you didn't know this already about Sanders, she says that she also plans on focusing on education, workforce, and economic development if elected as governor. Last time I heard, it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. Very good, big go-getter there. So, music, please. Hello. Thank you. It's like, wait a minute, we're still talking about the candidates here. So anyhow, Sanders touted that she's spoken to more Arkansans on the campaign trail than all the other governor candidates combined. She said many voters expressed their concerns with the state's current workforce, like showing up in PJs. She says there's not a business or industry anywhere in the state that I met with that says that they can find and hire skilled, qualified workforce that's needed. It's just needed. She also adds that we're here to do a better job, and that starts with the basic level, making sure we're actually educating, not indoctrinating, our kids. We're empowering parents, not government bureaucrats, and that we are preparing kids for the workforce, not a lifetime of government dependency. And that's where she stands on there. Oh, yeah, Sufa. We left Sufa out. Yeah, she's not running. She's out. And Washburn's out as well. I hate to see that, too, especially a fellow radio guy. You know, yeah, that was kind of my soft spot right there. It's like, hey, it's one of my people there, a radio guy that's running for office. Yeah, I like that. And I liked what he was pushing. I did. And to me, he kind of sounded a little bit more libertarian than he did Republican. But if you were looking for somebody who was a very fundamental conservative on the faith-based type, then that was definitely your guy right there. But yeah, don't worry about it now because it looks like Sanders is taking the lead there. All right, let's see. We've got one more segment here we've got to do before we wrap up this hour. And it's been a long night for me. Between the storms, the election, and everything, it's been a really long night. Plus, not only that, Thursday, is it Thursday? I believe it's Thursday. Yes, Thursday. The Tracys come to town. And that's May 26th, and that's going to be another long night for me. So, I got to pace myself is what I got to do. All right. We'll go ahead and take this break, and we'll pick up on some other things that's going on here in the state as well. News Talk 92 KBAU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. Here on this Wednesday morning, just to wrap it up there with all our election results. If you missed any of it, would like to hear it again, check out the podcast. We'll have that available shortly after the show, and you can go back and listen to that at your leisure. And follow along, take notes, however it is that you want to do it. You can do it that way, but check out that podcast on there. And if you could, please click the like buttons on those, so that way the algorithm will show that somebody's at least taking an interest in the show and bump us up and make it easier for us to find in the search. Just look for Doc Bryce Morning Mayhem on your favorite podcast application or platform like iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, all those out there. Look for us out there as well. And then, of course, get that RSS feed. If you've got a podcast app that you like to use, just plug that feed in there one time. That's all you got to do. Plug it in there one time. And the next thing you know, every time we upload a show, bam, it's in your phone just like that automatically. You don't have to do anything anymore. It just gives you a notification going, hello. Where's my little notification thing there? It'll do like, hey, you got a new podcast waiting for you. All right. Okay. And yeah, that way you can follow along and do all that stuff there. So, I don't know if you heard about this, but I was taking a nap when I woke up to this. At least 19 children were killed in a massacre in a Texas elementary school. And as you've no doubt heard by now, though, there was another school shooting yesterday. And while every single mass shooting is senseless tragedy, this one especially horrific because it happened at an elementary school filled with second, third, and fourth graders. So here's everything you need to know about this. It happened at Robb Elementary at Uvalde, Texas. It's a rural town about 90 miles west of San Antonio. About approximately 11:32 a.m. local time, an 18-year-old male entered the school with several guns and just opened fire. At least 19 children and 2 adults were killed, but others were seriously hurt, so it's possible that the number will be higher. At least one of the adults was a teacher. So, according to the reports, this 18-year-old shooter had attended a nearby high school. It was wearing body armor during the massacre and was eventually shot and killed by law enforcement at the school while exchanging fire with officers. The exact timeline is still being pieced together, but the shooter shot his grandmother at her home, then where she's in critical condition at the moment, then crashed his truck through a barrier at the school, and then went in and just went on a rampage. Law enforcement sources in Texas said the shooter had a handgun, an AR-15 assault weapon, and high-capacity magazines. They believe he acted alone. It's unclear if the shooter targeted that specific school or if it was just by chance, but it does seem like it was premeditated. A former classmate said that he texted him photos of the AR-15 and a bag full of ammo days before the attack. A social media account that belonged to the shooter showed him teasing the carnage, and his Instagram account was mostly just selfies and photos of guns. A Texas state senator said that the shooter turned 18 just days ago and purchased 2 assault rifles on his 18th birthday. It's not clear if they were used in the massacre. There's no indication yet on what the motive might have been. So, although I can't imagine why it even matters, I really don't give a rat's a-hole about it, but there's no worthwhile message in the slaughter of children. I mean, we won't stop this from happening and protect our schools by sitting around and analyzing this all, of his intent and everything. Let's work on how, not the why. Now this, the deadliest American school shooting since the massacre happened at Sandy Hook Elementary in 2012. 26 people were killed there. 20 of the victims were children between the ages of 6 and 7 years old, and 6 were adult staff members. President Biden condemned the shooting in an address last night. He said, quote, "I hope when I become president, I would not have to do this again. Another massacre, Uvalde, Texas, an elementary school. Beautiful, innocent second, third, and fourth graders, and how many score of little children who witnessed what happened see their friends die as if they were in a battlefield. For God's sakes, they live with it for the rest of their lives." And you can catch that on YouTube if you want to see his address. Naturally, this has once again ripped the Band-Aid off the long simmering gun debate, with some politicians demanding that we act and get something done, others arguing that we should stick to the status quo. Coincidentally, the National Rifle Association is set to hold its annual meeting in Houston starting on Friday. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is expected to appear, along with the Texas Senator Ted Cruz and former President Donald Trump. Additional speakers include Texas Representative Dan Crenshaw and South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. No Democrats are scheduled to speak. Obviously, this is an evolving story, so for the latest, you can follow CNN, Fox News, New York Times, and, of course, you can keep it right here on ABC News that we play at the top of the hour. So thoughts and prayers out there to the family. It's just really heartbreaking to wake up. Man, I was tired yesterday, and, between getting up at 2, 4 in the morning, doing a morning show and everything, and then knowing that I was going to have to be out late doing election stuff for you guys so that way you could get your numbers and everything. And, you pace yourself through the day. So I laid down, took a nap, and when I woke up, that's when I heard the news and realized what was going on. So, I mean, it's just troubling when you lay your head down and you have some kind of sense of peace to, disappear for a while to rest. And then you wake up, and when you wake up, everything's new to you, because then when you start hearing stuff like this, it just really gets to you. And it just, I'm not one of those guys that, the serious type character. I'm your comic relief, and it's really hard to have to address stuff like this because I'm not wired and designed to be the solemn guy. I'm the funny guy. But thoughts and prayers out there to those families. So, as we get into the 7 o'clock hour, let's lighten it up here a little bit. Why you should always show up 30 minutes late to a party? Hey, I have finally been vindicated. Everyone shows up late to parties. The question is, what's the right amount of late? We actually have that answer. It's called the 38-minute rule. A political reporter in D.C. named Sam Brody came up with it. He tries to show up exactly 38 minutes late to parties because that is the sweet spot. That usually means you won't be the first one there, but won't come back, awkwardly after things are really rolling too. After a dinner party, you won't be too late to pick your seat if you want. Basically, it just works. So let me go ahead and hit the top of the hour here. ABC News up on the other side right here, News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. Freeze frame, everybody. Jay Giles Band here in the 7 o'clock hour. First hour, man, we covered everything we needed to about your primaries. If we do have a runoff, that runoff will happen June 21st, and we'll find out if we do. We'll let you know. As far as we know, though, it doesn't look like there's going to be one, but if there is, it will happen June 21st. Of course, you can always catch the first part of the show. You can join on the podcast there. Just download the podcast from your favorite platform like Spreaker or Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Google Podcast, Amazon, any of those up there. You can find it. Just do a search for Doc Bryce Morning Mayhem and you will find us, and just set that up in your phone and everything, and poof, that way you'll get a notification that there is a new episode available for you. Just before the break, though, we were talking about what good late is good if you were trying to show up somewhere late. Basically, why you should always show up 38 minutes late to a party, and I have been vindicated finally because everybody's like, Doc Bryce always shows up late. And it's like, well, I show up late. They called it fashionably late, but actually there's a formula to it. Who knew? And it actually works, and I've been using it for years. So anyhow, just to kind of recap, how late should you get to a party? There's a theory called the 38-minute rule that says you should always be exactly 38 minutes late. Why? It usually means you won't be the first one there. You never want to be the first one there, but won't come in awkwardly after things are really rolling either. So when you do that, it basically just works. So if you want to fine tune your lateness even more than just that, the mathematician named Daniel Biss just worked with the Atlantic to come up with an actual formula to determine the exact time you should show up at a party. And you can try it out on the Atlantic website if you want to go try it out over there, which is theatlantic.com. And you can go find it over there. So it takes 7 factors into account into figuring out your perfect arrival time, including how punctual your friends normally are, how awkward it would be to be too early or too late, and how excited you are about the party. So you take all those things into factor and you will find what time you should show up after this stuff gets you going. There you go. Let's see other things here you need to know about Wednesday, because today is Wednesday. And not only that, though, it is the day after primary. So here's some random facts for you. Samsung means 3 stars in Korean. The founder chose the name because he wanted the company to be powerful and everlasting like stars in the sky, not because he's aimed for mediocrity in a 5-star rating system. Get it? The reason humans are the only animals with a chin is cooking. Now, I got banned off, or I'm in Facebook jail once again because I got busted out for hate speech for basically saying men are like dogs, and supposedly when you compare humans to animals, you're reducing humans to substandard, and that's hate speech. I had no idea. But here it says the reason humans are the only animals. Oh my gosh. What do you know? We're still animals. With a chin is cooking. We figured out how to cook food to make it soft, so we evolved away from big teeth and strong jaws and developed chins. The TSA makes almost $1 million a year just from those loose change that people leave behind at security. A cup of maple syrup has more calcium than a cup of milk, although it would be awfully hard to try and drink an entire thing of syrup. The AC/DC logo was based on the letters in the first book ever printed, the Gutenberg Bible, and the guy who created it was paid a one-time fee, never got any royalties, and also did the logos for Pepsi and Time magazine. Where's Nike in there? Nike was another one too. They paid a one-time fee for that, and dude never got royalties. And that's just a little check thing. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So to the Nike story there. Speaking of other stories, and get this, don't do this, okay? Don't be stupid. Oh, by the way, since I'm going to be talking about this, the firefighter Camden Fire Department blood drive is this Friday at the fire station on California, just so you know. And I figured I would do that because not only do we love our firemen because they're just so cool and nifty and everything, and they have cool stuff to play with, like sirens and horns. But, they also do a lot of cool stuff too. Well, if you see a fire department out putting out a fire, don't steal the fire truck. I'm just saying. Supposedly a man was arrested after attempting to steal a fire truck that was on scene of a fire. Firefighters were able to tackle the man on the ground and hold him until police arrived to make the arrest. The report says that a 34-year-old man was arrested after he tried to jump into a fire truck while firemen were battling a blaze. The incident occurred here in Arkansas, and local news cameras were rolling when the man actually attempted to get away in the fire truck. So the 34-year-old was charged with breaking and entering a vehicle as well as terroristic threatening. And the report added that before the man attempted to jump in the fire truck, he asked the fire department if they had seen his bike. Hey, man, if you see my bike, hey, is that my bike over there? And then jumps in. I'm driving away. I'm driving away from you. Anyhow, there was somebody, I don't know what this new craze is, because there was somebody who also got busted for stealing a fire truck in Plano, Texas. So I was thinking that was the story, but no, this one actually happened here in Arkansas. So if you're going to the fire department this week, especially Friday, to go ahead and donate blood, that'd be really cool if you didn't steal any apparatus. They would greatly appreciate that. I'm just saying. Let's see here real quick. Where else are we on here? Because we got the round table coming up here in just a little bit. And I need to know where I'm at, and I'm at right there. Okay. All right. We're good. No, I just had to make sure I knew where I was at because we got the round table coming up here and I don't want to run late. Well, I could be 38 minutes late. That's cool. So yeah, as long as we're running 38 minutes late, we're fine because that's the sweet spot. So Ford settles over false advertising claims for $19 million. Now you're probably wondering, well, what does that got to do with us being Arkansans? Well, your Attorney General Leslie Rutledge went after Ford and said, hey, you owe us the money. So I'm going to sue you. And I guess that's what happened. Because Ford Motor Company agreed to pay $19 million to not only Arkansas, but 40 states as part of a settlement over false advertising. So the state, our state, will receive $240,765.75. As part of the settlement, according to Rutledge, the automobile manufacturer is accused of falsely advertising the fuel economy of a 2013 through 2014 models of its C-Max hybrids. Ford ran the advertisement campaign calling the hybrid games, in which the company claimed the C-Max models had better fuel efficiency than the Toyota Prius, according to the news release. An investigation revealed that the videos were deceptive. Ford lowered the model's fuel economy rankings twice. So the company is accused of misleading consumers about the payload capacity of its 2011-2014 Super Duty pick-em-up trucks. Ford based its calculations on a hypothetical truck configuration that omitted standard items such as a spare wheel, a tire, and a jack, center flow console, replacing it all with a mini console and radio, according to the news release. But the special configuration was only available for fleets and not all F-250, 350, and 450 models. Thousands of Arkansans, myself included, have relied on Ford and its claims regarding payload capacity and fuel economy of its vehicles to ensure their ability to perform on the farm and on the country gravel roads. Rutledge said in a statement, she's a Ford gal. As gas prices soar, inflation continues to rise. Today's settlement ensures that Arkansans can trust car manufacturers like Ford when they purchase a vehicle. So that's pretty much the end of that. No, that is nothing. That goes nothing against our local Ford dealership. No, our Ford dealership is fine. They're fine people. That's the manufacturer. So don't be going over there to Jim Golden and saying, "Hey, I heard Doc Bryce said y'all ripping people off." No. The AG settled with Ford Manufacturing Company. And, yeah, that's how that worked out. So, like I said, hey, I've been taken out of context before. For some reason, Doc Bryce said, no, Doc Bryce did not say that. And, Doc Bryce said we could, donate blood and ride all the fire trucks. It's like, no. Doc Bryce said when you go give blood, don't steal the fire trucks. Oh, get this, man. While you're sitting there trying to get your poll election counting stuff done and everything, whatever. Oh, by the way, I just want to, before I go into this story, I just want to give a shout out to our county clerk, Britt, because, man, you know what? He did a great job on this election cycle here. And it really amazes me how smooth that they can just make this thing. I don't know what's going on in these other states, Georgia, Texas, and everybody else. And, you know, all the stuff that we had with the 2020 election and everything. And people can't count. And then it's like, you know, took 3 months to get the rest of the tallies in and all this other stuff. But I swear, Britt makes it look so easy. Just, you know, waiting for the results to come in. They come in, the sheriff's department trucks in these flash drives. He puts them in a computer, downloads them, bam, they're done. We get a printout and they're turned in. Oh my gosh. And, we were gone. What time? Let's see. I think we left there before. Let's see. The polls closed at 7:30. We were gone before 10. And there was no big mess or anything to clean up or anything like that. It was just, I mean, Britt just made it look so simple. And, the numbers came in, he did them, and everybody went home shortly after that. But now this can make it a little bit more challenging when you have a power outage to deal with. The Washington County Courthouse had a little impact in there on the poll locations in Fayetteville. So, while they're trying to tally up their votes, they got met with a new challenge. Jennifer Price with the Washington County Election Commission says the Election Commission was working through the issues with no power at the headquarters there. The power is not expected to come back to the courthouse in any immediate future. So ballot counting is moving over to the sheriff's office annex. Election officials say that this will not affect their timing of releasing those results because ballots hadn't been coming into the courthouse just yet. So with that, the biggest issue was making sure that the polling locations were able to contact the elections commissions. One polling location also lost power, but voting continued because the voting machines were able to continue operating without power in the vicinity, like battery powered. So SWEPCO's outage map shows Sequoia Methodist Church and Old Wired Roads is affected by the outage, and the courthouse is currently closed due to the outage. SWEPCO says more than 2,300 people are without power, and the estimated restoration time was at 7:30 p.m. So later in the day of yesterday. So, yeah, talk about a real challenge there. But, you know, I just want to say that our county clerk, Brett, did a great job with, just running everything. And I mean, even during the week with the early elections, I typically don't like to participate in the primary election because that means I have to pick a side because you can either do Democrat, Republican, but you have to pick one, not both. Or if you do partisan, then the problem is that, you only get to vote for the judges. That's it. You don't get to, do any of the other stuff. So, yeah, stuff and things. Yeah. So anyhow, I went ahead for the first time, and participated in a primary and, walked in there, and it was very simple. I just flashed my ID. They said, "Is that you?" I go, "Yeah." They go, "Sign right there." I did. They gave me a ballot. I went and, armed with my list of names that I wanted to knock out, and boom, it was done just like that. So great job, Ouachita County, and y'all man, I tell you what, the rest of the state needs to take a lesson from y'all, because Pulaski, they can't even figure. They were all like, man, we don't know where to tell anybody where to vote, because we got split up from one district into 4. We don't know what's going on. We're crazy. So congratulations, thanks a lot there, Ouachita County. Y'all did a great job. All right, I've got to take this break. We got the round table up next. Look for those podcasts out there, because I'm in Facebook jail, so I can't post them. You're going to have to go find them yourself. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas.